Today, you are going to discover what it means to turn towards your partner and how it can drastically improve your chances for harmony. I love this topic of turning towards because it's such an expression of love and it's going back to the basic stuff that make relationship good. Bidding for connection. This concept of bidding for connection or turning towards is introduced by relationship researcher John Gottman. He explains that he can easily predict which couples are going to have a durable, healthy relationship and which of them will not. He's been studying couples for at least 20 years in their natural habitat, if you will, and he's noticed some things. Some of these couples turn towards each other a lot, and they are the ones that are more happy and have healthier relationships. And so he noticed that the way that partners are emotionally and physically engaged with each other is really crucial. And when they are turning towards each other, it's the number one reason for peace and harmony within the relationship. Because people, individuals make bids for emotional connection with one another on a regular basis, whether we are consciously aware or not of it. That's what we do. And what is a bid for connection here? A bid for emotional connection can be a question, a gesture, a look, touch. It's basically any single expression that says, I want to feel connected to you. Ooh, I'm talking to you. Ooh, I want to touch you. Ooh, I want to connect with you. That's what he calls a bid for emotional connection. And it can be an emotional or physical engagement with one another. He says that happily married husbands disregard their wife's space for connection about 19% of the time. That's the average. That means that they do pay attention and respond positively to their wife's bidding for emotional connection about 80% of the time. So 4 out of 5 times, happily married husbands pay attention to their wife's bid for connection. How about the ladies? Well, happily married wives act preoccupied in response to their husband's bids for connection about 14% of the time on average. Same thing here, 4 out of 5 times, happily married women do respond to their husband's bid for connection. Is that telling you something? I think it's telling you that a vast majority of the time, happily married people respond to each other's bids for connection. And the average seems to be at least 4 out of 5 times. You need to do a good job at paying attention to your partner's bid for connection. So let's talk about turning towards in more detail. It means to react in a positive way to your partner's bid for emotional connection. And one of the very basic ways to communicate an interest in the other person, to respond to their emotional, to their bid for emotional connection is to demonstrate interest. It is so basic. Yeah, sometimes we have to go back to this very basic knowledge. You know, the way you were dating and paid attention to everything you guys said or did? That's the kind of interest you need to show in your partner 4 out of 5 times at least. It means turning towards your partner physically engaging with them, not showing your back, making eye contact, asking questions. Consistently turning toward creates a lot of good feelings for one another. Your relationship becomes rich with a lot of positivity here. So that when some stressful situation happens, when you guys have an argument or disagreement or something big that can make the boat tank, you guys are still afloat because you have a very good grounding and a habit of turning towards one another. And also, it allows you to have access to humor and affection even during arguments. Yeah, you're more easily able to pull out these the humor and to de-escalate the feelings. So the more you turn toward your partner, the more you are able to de-escalate the bad feelings, and you're able to move towards better understanding for one another. Turning against. What does it mean to turn against? People who turn against one another's bid for connection might be described as belligerent or argumentative. They kind of tend to attack and go at each other's throats from time to time, or a lot of the time. And when one person in a couple habitually turns against the other, their relationship will suffer, sometimes to the point of destruction. How about turning away? Turning away means ignoring your partner's bid for emotional connection or acting preoccupied. And consistently turning away from one another is clearly bad for the relationship, and it can lead to its demise as well. And John Gottman tells us that this failure to turn towards each other, or this ignoring, turning away habit, is rarely malicious or mean-spirited. Oftentimes, it is a habit that's deeply ingrained. But the good thing is that, like all habits, there is the potential to create a better one. And that's what we're doing on this lesson. I want you to be aware of becoming more engaged with your partner and turning towards your partner more. Let's create this new habit. What are 2 things that you have done today to turn towards your partner? Think about it. Write it down in your workbook. And if your partner is not already sleeping and snoring, you still have a chance to do 2 things to turn towards your partner. Could it be making eye contact? Could it be asking some open-ended questions? Could it be touch? What could it be? And in your worksheet again, I'd like you to think of 5 things that you can do to turn towards your partner this week. Think ahead of time. What are some opportunities you can look forward to where you can practice turning towards your partner? And how can you make this a habit on a regular basis? You might have to do a couple things a day to turn towards your partner to create this habit for yourself. Good luck with implementing this simple yet powerful technique of turning toward your partner. I look forward to hearing your comments and seeing what you've implemented this week on our Facebook group. Take care, ladies.